So I got this house that it's a super low end rental that I'm actually going to make over $90,000 on it, and I'll make all of my money back within the first 18 months. Stick around and I'll show you how. Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Graylan Stewart. I'm a virtual wholesaler and entrepreneur. So I am just a real estate investor overall, okay? So we do wholesale deals nationwide all day, every day. So that's what my channel is mostly about. But we also do buy and hold rentals for long-term wealth. And we do an occasional flip here and there as well. So today's video, I'm going to show you how I got this super low-end rental. It was too good to pass up and to wholesale off. So I kept it myself. We put a little bit of work into it, and now we do everything on rent to own to where I actually keep the deed. Basically, it's a contract for deed. So I will keep the deed in my name, but now I've got a tenant buyer that will end up, taking care of the property and living there and renting it until they own it. So I typically do that over a set amount of time and a certain interest rate. So anyways, let's get into the video. So I'm going to actually share my screen with you and kind of show you some before pictures and walk you through the whole process of what we did, how we did it, and where we got it, and all those kind of things. And then I'll show you some after pictures to kind of show you where we came from, and then how we actually market the property to find these rent-to-own buyers as well, okay? So let's get into it. All right, guys, so this is the house right here. Now, this property is in Lawton, Oklahoma. So it's actually a town that I grew up in. So I know the town like the back of my hand. This isn't like the nicest area in town, but it's not the super ghetto either. So, it's a decent little area that many people wouldn't mind living in. So anyways, this is the house. It's our perfect wholesale house that we look for, distressed house. With the torn up, trim around the roof, and the roof is bad. The whole siding, all of it. It's just an ugly house, right? So let me just walk you through some of these pictures. That's a walkthrough video. So let me back up a little bit, see if I can actually pull some of these up. There we go. All right. So there's the kitchen. It's pretty nasty. Just a lot of junk, and looks like they had a backsplash previously and they peeled it off for whatever reason. Of course, there was cracks like that all in the ceiling. So that's actually the kitchen that has the dryer and the refrigerator in it. And that's the electricity. It's an older house. I think it was built in 1950 or so. Now, keep in mind, when you wholesale these houses, you got to replace all the electric typically, because when we buy these things and get loans on them, you can't get a loan on when there's old electricity like that, just because they want everything up to date. So since I paid cash for this house and I did the remodeling cash, I don't have to do that because everything works. We tested everything. Everything works properly, so we're good to go on that. But that's one of your older panels. When you see something like that, you automatically know it's got to be replaced. So if you're wholesaling that, that on your initial offer that you automatically were going to have to do all new electric. Okay. But in my case, I didn't need to do that. This is one of the bedrooms. It did have some original hardwoods. You can kind of see there. It's not in terrible shape, just got junk in there. One of the other bedrooms and the closet. And now this doesn't have central heat and air. It is a lower end rental, like I said before. So that's one key takeaway. You don't ever want to over improve a property. You have to just make it like all the other houses around it, basically. So there's window units, and actually the seller took those window units with them. We put one in the kitchen, kind of living room kitchen area, and then we'll just leave it up to our tenant buyer to add others if they want them. But so that's one of the bedrooms. The bathroom's in decent shape. It's a decent little sink and toilet, and the bathtub wasn't terrible. We just refinished it. You'll see that here in a minute. And then actually, let me see if I can go ahead and make that bigger. There we go. Makes it a little easier for you. Move me out of the way. So we just cleaned it up, make it look nicer. But this is all before pictures. Obviously, it's got the old, ugly linoleum on the floor, which is not too appealing. Now the washer this is the hot water tank under here or up here, and that goes up into the roof, into the ceiling there, which we didn't change any of that. But then the washer goes here, and I showed you earlier the dryer actually goes into the kitchen. So that's a plus in this area. Not all houses have washer and dryer hookups. It kind of sucks that they're in two different spots, but at least they do have the option of having laundry on site as opposed to going to a laundromat. So there's part of the kitchen again. The stove is right here. Of course, they took that with them. Obviously, you can see right there all the trusses and, the decking up there on the roof and all that. All that is really solid. It looks perfect. It's just missing all that sheetrock that came down or whatever. So it wasn't too terrible. That was the previous owner's brother that was kind of living in there and not paying them. But as you can see, it just it just needed some sheetrock up there. It's really just kind of a cosmetic deal. There's a big crack up there in the ceiling at the kitchen. But this wasn't too huge of a project. A lot of people would shy away from it because it's just ugly. But all I see is dollar signs when I see stuff like that. But look at that. Like that is perfectly made. Perfect wood, not rotted, nothing. And it's actually not even plywood up here on the roof, which is kind of cool. They made them a little bit more solid back then, because these days all that would be plywood instead of 1x8 or whatever those are. But anyways, these are just some of the before pictures. The backyard, and now this is a 1 acre lot, so that's a plus. Most of the houses in the area are probably closer to a quarter acre to a half acre. So we actually have a full acre, which is awesome, and it is fenced in, so kids and dogs or whatever can play around, which is great. And it does have that little storage building right there as well. Now, you can see right here, all this had to be replaced. This is in terrible shape. So, but really, that's just cosmetic, And keep in mind, since it is a lower end house, we didn't even replace, any of the siding at all. We replaced some of these boards here. Obviously, I did put a new roof on it so that I could get good insurance on it. But overall, we pretty much just scraped this down and didn't even scrape it perfectly, to be honest. Like I said, it's a low-end rental, so you want to make it just like all the other houses to where it's safe, clean, and affordable. That's kind of my goal on these low-end rentals. But there's the side of the house, the front, as you already saw. So let's just take you through this video real quick.
1212 Southwest 25th Place.
Now that video,
2-bedroom, 1 bathroom.
You can see this was done July 16th.
It's on the crawl space, not foundation.
I think
as far as cement goes.
I don't know. That's not the year. I think it was 2019.
Potential. It's got good bones. Just sheetrock fell down right there.
Yeah, actually it was 2020.
Did some flooring and sheetrock work.
This gives you a better idea of the whole
40s, late 40s. So
okay, it's in the 40s.
Probably want to go ahead and replace the electric and plumbing. Of course, it needs flooring, paint, the norm. But electric and plumbing for sure, I would do that. This is the washer. The dryer was actually in the kitchen. Hot water tank is right here, kind of halfway in the attic.
Hot water tank is fairly new, so that was good.
Got the bathroom right here.
It's got PEX piping there to replace some of the plumbing, so that's good news.
It does have original hardwoods under all this linoleum, as you can see in the 2 bedrooms. But here is one of the bedrooms right here. It does have window units for cooling.
It has a furnace for heat, so we left that alone.
Yeah, all this is pretty solid.
It's a good house overall. Perfect rental.
Even the flooring looks like it's been sanded.
All right, you get the drift. So that's the whole before thing. Let me pull up the after pictures for you. So there's the house after. Let me pull up the before just so you can see them side by side and see that it is a transformation, even though it's a low-end rental. So we didn't go all out on it, obviously. That's the before picture though, and now you can see what it looks like now. All we did was scrape it off, paint it, took those ugly shutters off because they were falling off anyways. Replaced some of these trim boards, fascia boards, or whatever you want to call them. Of course, it has a brand new roof. As you can tell, it was kind of a light gray and all torn up before. So brand new roof. Yeah, we didn't change a lot. Cleaned it up to where all the debris is gone and everything. But other than that, it still doesn't look perfect because it's a low end rental. So I didn't even use like a real contractor on this. I found someone on Facebook Marketplace that I could trust. Because keep in mind, I'm in Colorado. This is Lawton, Oklahoma. It's like 900 miles away. It's even further than Oklahoma City from me. But I found someone that I felt I could trust. He did everything he said he would do, and he did it really cheap, y'all. He did repainted all the outside, took all these, all the trim off of all the trim board, or what do you call that? All the window shutters off, because they were torn up, didn't need them really. And then I repainted it all, redid the roof and everything. I'll tell you in a minute how much we paid for everything. But we repainted the entire inside, ceiling, trim, everything. All the trim's white, ceiling white, and then the walls are kind of a gray color. And it's not perfect, like I said, but we remodeled it according to, what it needs, according to the area. So let me go back to the first picture up here, give you a better idea of everything. But that's rule number one. Never over improve a property. You got to kind of do it based on, all the other houses in the area. So all the other houses in the area don't even look this nice, to be honest. So that's exactly why I didn't use a regular contractor. And we didn't even bother, even though it had original hardwoods, it was more expensive to have all that stuff ripped out and then refinish all those floors. Now, if this was a nicer house, I probably would have done that. But we used the snap-in clickable vinyl plank that you can get for Lowe's or Home Depot. And it's super cheap. We didn't even use the waterproof kind necessarily. What that has the actual stuff underneath it that's waterproof, because you can get that for a couple bucks a square foot. But this stuff was like 88 cents a square foot, and it looks like wood floors, and it's really nice. So that's what we did on this. As you can see, it's pretty good transformation. Everything is, we did new tub surround back there just so it looks newer than what it was before. It was that ugly yellow. But yeah, it's just cleaned up overall. And of course, the ceiling in the living room is all fixed. We did a new stove, not a new, but a new used stove. Painted the cabinets. They still don't look amazing, but hey, it's a low-end rental. We didn't change the countertops or anything. We cleaned it all, so it is clean. So that's a thing too. When you're watching HGTV and you see all these amazing things, that's not real life. Even on flips, we don't go all out like that. Of course, we're not doing, $1 million homes like they do a lot of times on TV. But at the same time, we'll make everything, nicer than this on a flip. But at the same time, we don't over improve it. So that's number one. Of course, we still have to go through here and get a house cleaner, so they can clean the windows and everything else. But overall, these are just pictures that the contractor sent me because we finished everything. So the wood floors look great. Everything looks really good. So, and my contractor even did the walkthrough video for me, which is kind of cool. He did all these pictures for me. That's why they don't look great, but it's better than having to send someone else out there to do it for me. So I'll show you the video real quick. We'll run through it. He didn't it's not super detailed, so it's not that long.
1212 Southwest 25th place. It's the living room.
I'll fast forward some of this, y'all. You don't have to sit through all this. Make it a little bit quicker. But yeah, the living room area.
Kitchen.
Of course, there's where the fridge goes, and then the dryer can go to the left of it. I mean, it's still a pretty good transformation, and it's something that somebody would be proud to live in, for a low-end rental. And it's all remodeled. Everything works at least, and it's clean. At least it will be even clean more once we get a cleaner in there just to detail it a little bit better. But overall, man, this is all you need. Like, this property will make me a ton of money over time, and we'll break down the numbers here in just a second. Let me just run through some of this a little bit more just to kind of speed it up. You can see the bathroom. Of course, obviously he did this at night, but the inside of the tub you can see was kind of refinished. He didn't put the light fixtures back on yet, but he already did that since the video. But anyways, yeah, overall, it's a nice 2-bedroom house that, a young family or a single person could live in easily. It's a good starter home, or just a good home, if someone doesn't make a lot of money, which, there's a lot of the world out there that doesn't make much. So this is what we provide, affordable housing. So I'm proud of that fact. But anyways, that's the whole video walkthrough and all that. All right, so what did y'all think? I mean, it's not too bad, right, for a low-end rental. So here's the numbers on it. I actually bought the property for $5,000, but with closing costs, and I paid part of the probate that had to be done. Like, this took a year process just to get closed because of probate and everything else that had to happen. And actually, we ended up, yeah, it was probate. They had a lot of errors is what it was. That's why it took so long. But anyways, so I bought it for $5,000 with closing costs, and I just paid part of the probate just to help them because they needed a little bit more money, so that I could pay $5,000 because I wanted to pay $3,500, which is what we agreed to originally. But I paid $5,000 plus closing and everything, so I was in it for like $6,800 or so with closing costs, paying both sides and all that kind of stuff. And then I actually did all the remodel. I negotiated super cheap with the guy. Of course, keep in mind, he did the roof, so he tore off the old roof because it had a couple layers, did a new roof, painted the entire exterior and the entire interior, completely redid all the flooring, did the new tub surround in the bathroom, replaced that sheetrock in the living room on the ceiling. He did all of that and mowed the property over these 3 months that it took him to do this. Of course, I could have did this faster, but I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't really care. Holding costs aren't very much. The insurance is like $60, and the I think the utilities end up being, under $100 a month. So sure, I could have got it done faster by paying somebody a little bit more, but I paid the guy $2,200 for labor for all of this, and it took him 2.5 months or so. And then the materials were obviously more than that. So I'm all in on this property for just under $12,500. Now this, I just looked this up on my system. We actually got this deal from a Facebook paid ad, just running the ads on Facebook. So that's how we got the lead. So I'm all in for $12,500. I've already got probably 50 different applicants on this property. My minimum down on it's $2,500, so I'll just pick and choose the best fit for me and who I want in there. So they'll give me $2,500 down, and they're going to pay $600 a month, roughly, over 180 months, 15 years, because it is a rent to own. So if you do the math on that, I haven't actually done it. So let's just say 600 times 180 is 108. But really, out of that 600, 500 is profit because it's about 100 for taxes and insurance. Or it's a little bit less, but we'll just round it up. Let's just say 500 though times 180 months. That's $90,000 plus my $2,500 down that I'll get minimum. So I'll make $92,500 on this property over 15 years. But keep in mind, I'll probably make more than that. And also, my net worth is higher because this house, the ARV is about $45,000 on this house. And I'm all in on paper. I own it free and clear, but I'm all in for myself, $12,500. But I did pay cash on it, so I don't owe anything on it. So that increases my net worth by $45,000. And my rent-to-own buyer with them in it, if they stayed the whole 15 years, that's great. I'll end up making $92,500 on them. And if I don't, if they end up leaving 2 or 3 years later, that's okay too, because then I can get another deposit and get somebody else into the property. So either way, it's a huge win. But that's $600. So 500, I'm in it for 12,500 divided by 500. So just a couple of years, basically. and I get all my money back. I was thinking 18 months at 600, but actual profit $500 a month. So I'm cash flowing $500 a month over 15 years. If they stay in the property, I'll make over $92,000 on it, and I'm all in for $12,500, a little bit less than that. So I think that's a win, don't you? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Obviously, it's not the nicest remodel in the world, but you don't want the nicest. It's not all about what you want and what you would do for yourself. It's about molding the property to the way it needs to be, to the standard of the neighborhood and the standard of the people that you're actually searching for. My whole goal in these low-end rentals is to make it safe, clean, and affordable, and that's exactly what I've done. So let me know what you think. Please give me a thumbs up if you stuck around this long. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.